Haley.
Everyone should be standing. O God, thy mightiest of the universe, we praise thee to be present with us this day. Grant us wisdom so we face up in this meeting to the problems in our country and our union, that we may make intelligent decisions on what is the best policy for us. Help us to realize the injury of one is the concern of all, and that the welfare of all must be the aim of everyone. Bless the upward climb of this union and bless all groups in our nation that work for social justice and build up for our country a great body of workers striving in unity for the final brotherhood of all men. This we ask in thy name. Amen. You can be seated.
Thank you very much, Kim. The second item on the program would be the trade union song, Solidarity Forever. This is on the back of the program.
For the union makes us strong. We can break their heart. Solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever, solidarity forever, solidarity forever, for the union.
The next item on the program would be the National Pledge. Thank you all. My name is Giselle Nelson, and I am the president of the Guyana Postal and Telecommunications Workers Union. In my welcome remarks, which is very trade unions are essential in representing the working class and advocating for their rights, including improving working conditions, wages, and job security. Today, we honor Hubert Nathaniel Critchlow, who dedicated his life to improving the harsh working conditions of his time and pioneering the trade union movement in Guyana. Recently, the Guyana Teachers Union took a stand against an unresponsive government Guyana Teachers Union strike was led predominantly by women who are at the forefront of the struggle. We stand in solidarity with the Guyana Teachers Union and the landmark decision handed down by Justice Sandil Kisoon. We are prepared to defend the Guyana Teachers Union at all costs. A victory for the Guyana Teachers Union is a victory for all of us. The next item on the program would be the laying of wreaths, and this will done by the order, in order, sorry. And so we're going to ask the representatives from the various unions to assemble so that we could have this done. The first union would be the Union Congress, followed by the Critchlow Labor College, then the Guyana Public Service Union, Technical and Commercial Workers Union, Amalgamated Transport and General Workers Union, so I'm going to go over so that we can organize ourselves. So the first union would be the Guyana Trade Union Congress, Critchlow Labor College, Guyana Public Service Union, Clerical and Commercial Workers Union, Amalgamated Transport and General Workers Union, General Workers Union, Guyana Local Government Officers Union, Workers Union, followed by the Guyana Local Government Officers Union, Guyana Postal and Telecommunication Workers Union, Guyana Bauxite and General Workers Union, Union of Agricultural and Allied Workers, National Union of Public Service Employees, University of Guyana, and University of Guyana Sea Christian Industry and Allied Workers, People's United and General Workers Union, and last but not least, United Union. And the Market Vendors Union. And a hearty thank you to the representatives of the various unions participating in this exercise. The next item on the program would be an address, and this would be given by Miss Indira Tardin, conveyor, Guyana Public Service Union, Women Advisory Committee. Ms. Stein?
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Brothers and sisters of the trade union movement, a pleasant afternoon to all. It is indeed a pleasure this afternoon to speak to you on behalf of the Guyana Public Service Union. As we honor our dear brother Hubert Nathaniel Critchlow, who commenced activities for May Day 2024, it will be useful to remind ourselves as trade unionists of Brother Critchlow's perspective as he outlined a strategy that would benefit all workers. Brother Critchlow believed that there should be political independence. He also believed that political independence would have been meaningless if the society was not organized to benefit the working class and have justice delivered. Because of his militancy, he was dismissed from his job for representing a change from the 10 hours workday to 8 hours. After his dismissal, he became a full-time union worker and was strategic in the formation of the first labor union in Guyana, the Guyana Labor Union, which was occasioned in 1917. He also advocated for the protection of trade unions, grounded by law, to ensure non-interference in their internal affairs. It was another field he envisaged for just societies. No doubt, Brother Critchlow would have suffered a great deal in his life in fighting for justice for the workers, but through his legacy and his vision, his hope for an equal society, he lives on. How many times have we heard a call to the public that a great teacher, and it is the folly of those who disregard its lessons. Collective bargaining was a fundamental issue that occasioned the 1963 strike, which lasted for 80 days, 80 long days. The government of that time was trying to have implemented the Labor Relations Bill without any consultation with the Trade Union Congress. If this bill was allowed to pass, the government would have controlled which union represent which category of workers. Because of the forceful stance of the TUC and the successful strike action, the government removed the bill and modified the repressive clause. One feature of the terms of resumption was clear, that the government would consult with trade unions on industrial relations matter. The 1963 strike predates Guyana's independence, and most certainly was long before the 1980 Constitution. Today, enshrined in our Constitution at Article 147, the guarantee of two fundamental rights are both outcomes of the 1963 strike, that of freedom of association and the right to choose which trade union you belong to, and the right to collective bargaining. However, as you are aware, there are significant efforts afoot to undermine both provisions. And we have seen this happen repeatedly, for example, with the teachers, and more recently with the doctors. We all know the challenges experienced to have collective bargaining with the employer. As a member state of the ILO, the government of Guyana is obligated to apply the principles of the ILO 1998 Declaration on the Fundamental Principles and Rights at Work, with amendments made in 2022. The refusal to collective bargaining constitutes a direct violation of the constitutional right of every worker to participate in the decision-making process of the state. And this continued refusal can be viewed as methods to circumvent, obstruct, and oppress certain trade unions from carrying out their obligations and mandates their membership. This situation must not be allowed to continue. The theme for May Day 2024 celebration, galvanizing and mobilizing for workers' empowerment and equal share of oil wealth. Indeed, workers' empowerment is foremost on the GPSU's agenda. According to the Caribbean Congress of Labor, the social and economic policies of any country, including trade agreements, must place the people, safety, and jobs before profit. The labor movement is formed that trade can only be considered to be free if it is fair and to ensure a just deal for a better life for all. The GPSU maintains that the resources of any country, therefore, must be used to benefit its people, and there must be equality in its disbursement. The GPSU also iterates that workers who implement the policies of the government that make them look good must be paid a living wage. To you, brothers and sisters of the trade union movement, this platform provides a common approach for us to collectively address issues. Today is a good day to begin the cause for inter-union cooperation to achieve economic and social justice for the workers we represent and to advance their interests. There is growing poverty among the population, human rights violations, abuse of democratic institutions, erosion of the rule of law, occupational safety and health concerns, and income inequality, among other serious concerns. Not forgetting the external threat facing us all for two-thirds of beautiful and rich Guyana. Workers are subjected to atrocious conditions throughout this country. Many women in the healthcare services have suffered at the hands of the employer. Remember the infamous Sweetman derogatory comments of the Linden Hospital Complex CEO and the unlawful deductions that were made from nurses' meager salaries. Nevertheless, women continue to be at the forefront of every struggle, and it is noteworthy their increasing militancy, embracing opportunities for leadership and empowerment. Because when women are empowered, whole communities benefit. As early as 1874, women leaders emerged, advocating for equal rights. Several successful strikes and resolutions later, the first equal pay legislation was realized in the UK. Many women workers receive increases in their income to match that to their male counterparts. The success of the 1963 strike was largely accredited to women's participation. The GPSU's Women Committee was born out of that struggle, the first of the kind in the Caribbean. Thereafter, the Public Service Credit Union emerged with the intent of cushioning the effects of lost pay for future strike actions. So my call today to have wider commitment and participation for women for the future of the trade union movement. There is a role for all at the decision-making table. And I would like to take time to recognize all the women that take time off from their schedules to be here this afternoon. Thank you all for coming. There's a quote by Sun Tzu from The Art of War. If you know yourself and you know your enemies, you will gain victory. The trade union movement of today is experiencing a severe problem of disunity. And should I remind you that we have more in common than what divides us? This crack has undermined the sturdy foundation laid by our dear brother Critchlow, and the opposing forces are advancing. That is why unity is so important. Disjointedness is our stumbling block. Because of this collective identity that we share as a movement, none of us must think of ourselves singularly. I therefore resound the call for unity. Unity in the trade union movement is our strength, and it will solidify our bargaining power. And while I pray that Brother Critchlow continue to rest in peace, the older folks may say, he must be turning in his grave because of the undue disregard for workers' rights and the just society he envisioned. Therefore, we must protect the secret tenets of the collective bargaining framework at all costs. History has proven that the challenges we face can only be overcome when we work together, when all of us put the common good ahead of personal interests. there is nothing that cannot be achieved. And that was taken from the ILO Our Story, Chapter 9. As I close, my dear brothers and sisters, I reiterate the call for unity among us and take courage as we move forward unified. Be that as it may, I therefore declare that there shall be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tardin, for that beautiful and timely address. It is wonderful to see women taking charge and leading the way. Women bring a unique perspective and valuable contributions to the table, and it is important that their voices are heard. I fully support the effort to revive and strengthen the women's arm in the trade union, and I encourage all women in Guyana to step up, take their place, and make their voices heard. Together, we can create a more inclusive and equitable society for all. The next item on the program would be an address by Ms. Marisa Williams, first Vice President of the Guyana Teachers Union. Ms. Williams. Protocols observed. Nelson Mandela posited. International solidarity is not an act of charity. It is an act of unity between allies fighting on different terrains towards the same objective. The foremost of these objectives is to aid the development of humanity to the highest level possible. Labor Day is an annual holiday to celebrate the achievements of workers and has its origin in the labor union movement, which advocates for workers' rights, liberty, and justice in the employment environment. For many countries, and Guyana is no exception, Labor Day is synonymous with or linked with International Workers' Day, which occurs on May 1. For other countries, Labor Day is celebrated on a different date, often or often one with special significance for the labor movement in that country. Each year, as we join thousands across the country to celebrate the victories of workers, our own Freedom Day is still fresh in our minds. The achievement of our rights as citizens and our rights as workers should indeed be celebrated together. Our history has made them inseparable comrades. With that being said, let me highlight this year's theme, which is galvanizing and mobilizing for workers' empowerment and equal share of the oil wealth. The theme sets the midpoint for us to understand there is need for unity and togetherness. Moreover, given the fact that Guyana is poised for greater development, there must be better treatment for workers in all sectors. Trade union struggles have been part of our fight for freedom and justice for many years. Comrades, while we reflect on Critchlow's struggle for trade unionism, I am apprehensive about the state of affairs of our respective trade unions. I refer to the assorted instances where we are divided by many instances, and more so when it comes to the liberation and justice for our members. Moreover, we are stranded by the many challenges that confront us socially, economically, and politically. Comrades, while as leaders we often fight in different avenues, it is the wish for all leaders to be united so that the workers can have a full representation of trade unionism in its full effect. This points to the many pillars and leaders we ought to emulate from the struggles of Critchlow. Hubert Nathaniel Critchlow expressed dynamic leadership which perpetuated humility, cohesiveness, charisma, and endurance. For the platform on which we currently embrace our struggles. Those characteristics definitely, quite humbly as a united people and more so commonly trade unionism. Given the recent pandemic and political climate of our country, it is for our leaders to reflect heavily on Critchlow's standard and constantly make reference to them as we seek to move forward in unity facing all challenges. It also behooves us to stand strong and united as proud Guyanese in these times, making sure that we preserve our rich heritage and heartwarming history. Comrades, as we reflect on this year's theme, which seriously speaks galvanizing and empowering workers, and for them to have a share in the oil's wealth, it is for all of us to be mindful of the massive development and possible underdevelopment if correct postures are not administered. Our beloved country is on a path for dynamic greatness. As proud Guyanese, despite our varying intellectual, objective perspective, we must unite and solidify those endless possibilities while making sure our unions are relevant and purpose driven. Comrades, workers and their trade unions are at the economic heart of our country. It is they who mine the minerals and produce the exports that fuel our growth. It is them who put the food on our tables and build the facilities that deliver the services our people need. Therefore, who is considered to be the working class? Why is it the working class treated with disdain? Why must the employer segregate the employees for personal gain? How can workers be more united to fight the struggle of oppressed people? When I reflect on the quote, new mindset, new results, the working class is the first to cross my mind. Under 1 year, we saw a country we have been working day and night to develop meet greatness. All of our hard work, sweat, and broken limbs were finally paying off. Within the same period, we saw minds transform and ideas were flowing like rivers. The dearly beloved country in unity prepared themselves mentally and physically for what was to come. Development like we had never seen before. There were minor hiccups, and in less than 2 months, we saw our country trip over something that made major nations crumble. But we did not fall. Why? Because as people worked together, we developed new mindsets, we changed our perspectives. Our doctors and nurses were no longer just working out of hospitals and clinics, they expanded. Our teachers did not give up, they leveled up and began virtual classes. The agricultural workers stepped up, and now fresh produce is being delivered just as we have been doing for years. These notes of progression did not come overnight, but duly came because of the essential struggles, more so of workers. Notwithstanding that quite often we reject to embrace the legacy of wisdom but hold on the concept of mediocrity as if it will transform the workers or the working environment. Comrades, workers must be treated with mutual respect, a high degree of sensibility, because they are the driving force for growth and development in the country. No longer will we suffice to malpractice and harsh treatment in our workplaces of employment, but we will rise above all those atrocities and lead we face. Ironically, without the employer's organized participation, our efforts to become more productive and competitive will not succeed. With employers, government, and trade union organization, we can help our country meet the challenge of reshaping our. With our help, our country will be placed on the road to sustainable growth and job creation. Undoubtedly, for all those reasons, a strong organization of working people and strong alliance is is as important for the future of our country as it is for workers' interests. While governments have burden responsibilities, there will be differences from time to time amongst alliances parties. What counts though is how we handle such differences when they do arise, and the commitment to seek negotiation solutions. We can help our country meet the challenges of reshaping our economy to make us a force to be reckoned with in the world. With our help, the country of working people and a strong alliance is important for the future of our country as it is for workers' interests. While the government have a broader responsibility, there will be differences from time to time amongst alliances partners. What counts is how we handle differences when they do arise and the commitment to seek negotiation solutions. I would have read that twice, and so it's important. Let us remind ourselves that in unity there is strength, and as we journey through difficult period of governmental hardship, let us show gratitude to all workers and encourage them with motivation as they seek to stabilize the country's most precious treasure, the human population, while we reflect and reshape the essence of trade unionism and the workforce essentially. The foundation for a better life has been laid. The building has begun. Forward ever, backward never. Long live the workers of Guyana. Long live the trade union organization. Solidarity forever. Thank you, Ms. Mariska Williams. The women continue to dominate, addressing various issues within the trade union movement. We've heard from Ms. Tardin and Ms. Williams. The next item on the program would be an address by Ms. Eli McCalmont, Vice President Education, Guyana Trades Union Congress. Ms.
Thank you so much. I hope our technician. I'm so sorry. Please give me a second.
This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Wednesday, 20th day of June in the year 2018. Here's what we're tracking tonight. The ExxonMobil Corporation announced today that it has made its 8th oil discovery off Guyana at the Longtail 1 well, creating the potential for additional resource development in the southeast area of the Stabroek Block. According to a statement from the company, it has encountered approximately 256 high-quality oil-bearing sandstone reservoir. The discoveries in close proximity to the Turbot discovery, southeast of the Liza field, according to the company. The combined estimated recoverable resources of Turbot and Longtail will exceed 500 million barrels of oil and will contribute to the evaluation of development options in the eastern portion of the block, officials of the company have reported. Exxon is making plans to add a second exploration vessel offshore Guyana, in addition to the Stena drill ship, bringing in total the number of ships on the Stabroek Block to 3. The new vessel will operate in parallel to the Stena Carron, explore the block's numerous value prospects. Noble Bob Douglas is completing initial stages of development drilling for Liza Phase 1, for which ExxonMobil announced a funding decision back in 2017. The Stabroek Block is 6.6 million acres. The government of Guyana has welcomed the announcement of yet another major oil find in Guyana's waters.
Greetings to all our William, my brother, president of the Trade Union Congress, brother Norris Witter, our brother, general secretary of the Trade Union Congress, brother Lincoln Lewis, immediate past president of the Guyana Trade Union Congress, the Corrector, and all other leaders from the trade union movement across Guyana, and my listening brothers and sisters. When we first hear the sound of oil in Guyana, thought, would we be rich? Would we be economically viable to do anything we want to do? What was your first thought? Big raise of pay, Sister Coretta says. Ladies and gentlemen, I speak to you under the team galvanizing and mobilizing share of oil wealth. Honoring our brother Hubert Nathaniel Critchlow is his legacy of workers' empowerment. Hubert Nathaniel Critchlow is the father of the trade union in Guyana and dedicated his life for fighting for workers' rights. Today, as we celebrate him and his 66th death anniversary, we honor his legacy and recommit ourselves to the ideal of workers, empowerment, and fair share of the nation's wealth. Brothers and sisters, we heard of the millions of barrels of oil that have been swept up from offshore Guyana. But how much of those oil wells have you benefited from? How much of that oil wealth are direct transfers to the workers, and how much goes into addressing the issues faced by those very workers? Guyana's recent oil discovery has brought immense economic potential to this beautiful country, Guyana. However, alongside the discoveries lies a crucial question. How can we ensure that this wealth translates into empowerment for Guyanese workers and an equal share of the benefits for all citizens? The oil industry, comrades, presents both opportunities and challenges for workers, and its empowerment and equitable distribution of wealth. However, safeguarding workers' rights must be at all-time priority. Ensuring strong labor unions and adherence to safety regulations are paramount to protecting workers' rights and welfare and their well-being. You may ask me, how do we benefit? My answer will always be fair wages and benefits. Guyanese workers deserve fair compensation for their contribution to the oil sector. Unions can negotiate for wages that reflect the industry standard and Guyana's economic growth. For employment and career advancement within the oil sector. Investment in education and training programs should be Guyana's first priority. This can bridge skill gaps and empower Guyanese to participate meaningfully. Investing in our future is of great importance. How is that so? The revenue generated from the oil industry should be strategically invested to create more prosperous and equitable future for all Guyanese. The government, the oil companies, and the regulatory bodies must operate transparently and be held accountable for upholding fair and equitable distribution of oil revenues. You may ask me, what is the path forward? I am advocating for trade unions movement, mobilization, and action. We have to hold the government accountable. And the rule of law. We have to challenge them in the courts. For far too long, as workers, we remain silent and accept the crumbs that are thrown to us. But today, workers, today, comrades, we are saying we have had enough of that disrespect. Are you agreeing with me? We are saying we have had enough. Striking. Comrades, this government has no respect and regards for workers. Redress appears to have been escaping the role of the Ministry of Labor. If I can pause quickly and speak specifically to the recent court action by the Guyana Teachers Union. This is a commendable stand, and as a teacher myself, I am proud. This is the direction we all must go. We have the law to our disposal, and we have the Constitution to uphold. We have to force the government to listen to us. We have to take swift but firm actions. My comrades, the Guyana Teachers Union strike for approximately 5 weeks. Do you think as teachers we wanted to be on the streets and not prefer to be in our classroom? But we had to take a stand. We understood as a union that our issue of salary increases is of great importance to us. Comrades, as I speak to you, the prices across our markets and supermarkets are skyrocketing. The monies that we fed our families in 2015 and 2018 before the oil and before major oil discoveries can no longer sustain and feed our families. Hence, as teachers, we got into action. After 4 long years of submitting our multi-year proposal, trying to meet with our employers to discuss salary issues. To date, comrades, we still have not had that discussion with our employer. We are still in limbo as it relates to salary matters. Is that an employer who cares for its workers? is that a government who looks after the needs of all Guyanese. Why only some unions are being listened to the cries of others? Comrades, our employers fought vigorously in the courts for our salaries as teachers to be cut, while the laws of Guyana, Chapter 99 8 speaks to us having the right to industrial action, and we should not be penalized for it. And the farm industrial action is our strongest weapon as a trade union movement. The Guyana Teachers Union has done everything in its power to meet with our employers to discuss better wages and salaries. And 4 long years after, we have had nothing but an imposed 8%, 7%, 0.5%. We've evidently been going on a downward trajectory in this. The fastest growing economy they boast. Comrades, it pains my heart daily to see the cries of our workers falling on deaf ears by our employers and our labor ministry, whose role as a mediator has chosen the side of our employer instead of staying on neutral grounds. The legacy of our brother, Hubert Nathaniel Critchlow, and his fight for workers has been a rich history in the labor struggles in Guyana, and it's a powerful symbol for all of us to follow. Through his leadership in the Guyana Labor Union in 1917, Critchlow paved the way for improved wages, social security for all of its workers. His legacy serves as a reminder for the importance of collective action and workers' empowerment. We ought not to forget the past, comrades. The struggles of the past are forever engraved in our memory. Yes, we ought to always read and reference to that exploitation that happened in the past. The harsh conditions faced by Guyanese laborers, low wages, long hours, unfair treatment by our employers, and the lack of basic rights and protection for workers. These are some of the things Hubert Nathaniel Critchlow fought for. He recognized the injustices and became the champion for that cause. Hubert Nathaniel Critchlow emerged as a beacon of hope during his time. He recognized power for collective action and formed the labor union in 1917. This marked a turning point in the fight for workers' empowerment through strikes, negotiation, and unwavering determination. Critchlow secured better wages, improved working conditions, social security, and benefits for all workers. The trade union movement, comrades, under his leadership, became a powerful force for change, and that we must not forget. Presently, not adequately paid. Guyana's recent discovery offered tremendous economic possibilities, and it is now crucial to ensure that the wealth is distributed fairly and equitably, and so that all Guyanese can benefit. We must learn from the comrades to avoid exploitation in our future, and trade unions must play a vital role in this endeavor. We must advocate for fair wages and safe working conditions, and ensure that the oil industry contributes to the overall development of Guyana and all Guyanese. Today, comrades, as we being called to action, we are not only called to action, but we're called to galvanize and mobilize for a brighter day for you and for me and for our next generation. Hubert Nathaniel Critchlow's labor and his legacy serves as a powerful reminder that true unity and collective action, positive change is achievable. Let's use this period and the days ahead as a springboard to further empower workers, advocate for their fair share in the oil wealth, and building a better Guyana and a better future for all Guyanese. Today, we can create a together, sorry, we can create a society where prosperity is shared and everyone can benefit from resources. Guyana oil finds present a unique opportunity to achieve workers' empowerment and share prosperity by learning from the past comrades, prioritizing workers' rights, and ensuring transparency in managing our oil wealth. Guyana can translate this resource into a brighter future for all of its Guyanese. So I call on every Guyanese today, here and wider afield, stay resolute. I charge you, especially our women, to stay the course because it is for this fight and this cause we must fight and stand our ground, remain steadfast as we demand equal opportunity in this. We must hold our leaders accountable. We must do what is right for Guyana. Long live Guyana. Long live the trade union movement of Guyana. Solidarity forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Mahalai McCallum. So we are going to take a pause. One of our union members came a bit late today, so we're going to ask the representative from the Ghana Day Association to come forth with the wreath to be laid. All right, thank you. Intelligence and grace. And most importantly, they were very detailed in addressing issues we face within the trade union. So let's have a round of applause for them because they deserve it. And we should be celebrating women all day, every day. So we're going to go on to the next item in the program, which is actually a vote of thanks, and it's given by Miss Kimberly Porter, President of the Ghana Local Government Officers Union.
Greetings, my brothers and sisters. I deem it's a great honor and on this memorable occasion, as we begin, may we, under the theme, galvanizing and mobilizing for workers' empowerment and equal share of all. I wish to thank God first for making today's occasion a resounding success. A warm and heartfelt thank you to our special guest for taking time off to be a part of this memorable occasion. I wish to thank GTUC and the organizers who organized this memorable occasion. Special thanks to all the unions, the trade unions who came out and participate in any way. I also wish to thank the Parliament Secretary for such an honorable audience. Long live the Ghana Trade Union Congress. Long live the trade union movement. Long live the people of Guyana. Solidarity forever. For the union make us strong. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Porter. So it's important after we have acknowledgement that we give thanks. But we have another item. So it's a cultural item, and the brother will also be giving us a few words before he go into his cultural item. And this is going to be done by you, Brian October, or HBO. So please come forward.
Good day, good evening to each and every one. First, I must remind you people that I'm not good at speaking, and I got false teeth, and I stutter. And when I say anything, I don't want you all misquote me. But usually when I make my point or I say what I have to say, I usually leave because I don't like making people uncomfortable. So let's get in. First of all, comrades. And the reason why I won't say ladies in general, I say comrades, because of the strength of the true leader of this nation. You know who the person are. I'm not going to call names because you're not getting implicated, unnecessarily, so to speak. This day, as we celebrate the date of Hubert Nathaniel Critchlow. I'm Hubert, and don't get me caught up with Hubert because he's far beyond. Let's give respect for people that pave way. But many of us have never gone into our history. This same place here, Damon was hanged. And I expect that our representative who later reached us now, no disrespect, Sister Linda, brother, you must know your history. And what Natalia fought for, we have left it. Unions make governments, government don't make unions. And that's the mistake we're making, general, so to speak. When we try to get rid of the organizer, it's a protocol, but it is more protocol. This is called protocol. The union is who make the government of this Republic of Guyana. And after they have done of such with such a strength, the union have been too affiliated with our politicians, sorry, the politicians, just excuse me. I told you before, I got false. And by make ourselves so confident, the time have come that we have to disassociate ourselves and are all in the union leaders compromise. What? Accountable? Well, thank you. Because what happened? Most of our politicians get comfortable. And some, or many, or more, or less, of our union members, I'm not saying leaders, you're all not going to commit me, all nonsense. Being too comfortable is people. We have to take a stand. You're saying solidarity forever, we're not standing in solidarity. We're talking about unity, unity don't stand. You got to get harmony. As a chef, unity is when you're making bread. You get a flour, you get a yeast, you get a little thing. But harmony is when you water inside. We need to throw some water because we're very hungry, thirsty. And the only way we could get harmony is by the union standing in one. Not one union base against another union base going the other way. We got to cut it out. We have to stand up for what? Stand for. And we're not doing such. I don't want to go in further into details because I just makeup and I'm a bit nervous. My feet is getting weak. And I must thank you people for inviting me here, Mr. And my brother, my honorary brother, Mr. Whitty is hiding from me. Mr. Whitty here. I walk my glasses, you know. Mr. Whitty here. Yes, get something. And I like to invoke respect to Mr. Lincoln Lewis. I like to Mr. Lincoln Lewis, no disrespect. Invoke that spirit you had in your younger days when we was going through things. We have to pray for you. You know, I like Hubert. I'm going to bring back the old time spirit. They get no venomous. You have to be like the Black Mambo. Like, I ain't saying much. I don't want to go forward. To be much strong. And if you're not ready to take, just yeah. For the teacher, let me give you all something quick. I went to Christchurch School because the mistress was not feeling well. And it happened so, I don't believe in coincidence. I believe in spiritual appointment. Go up there in the interest of my kid. Empty barrel cannot stand up. And I'm looking for more firm action because all of our leaders, time for talking is over. I'd like to ask something on this celebration of this day. Where is most of our leaders in the political area? Anybody here to represent any for our politicians? None. Sad. Thank you. And I do hope the politicians who's not here enjoy the time. Do enjoy. Uh, Mr. Norris with my beloved friend, could you please come and you and Sister Penna and Baruri do a form of a culture item for us, so to speak? Thank you for coming. Beautiful. What a wonderful day. Part of the African system, part of the union. And not forgetting, bring your brother, Mr. Lincoln, Louis Wayne coming. And to see y'all come and say something on the behalf of the people. Give respect to all these hardworking people that take such a time out. This only today, man. There's like putting some pieces together and saying, go towards each other.
Well, I know we pressed for time and everything, so I spent about 2 minutes something on behalf of that before Critchlow, before 1953, before independence, you had Critchlow. Before all the problems we have today, all we have today, Critchlow. The point I'm making quickly as I can, we are not dealing with the problem. We are not dealing with that or those that are causing the problem. We're too hooked up on party politics in this country. We have to deal with politics. For example, when the reason why Critchlow was formed or Critchlow got into the act is because we had a problem. The problem did it start in 1953. The culprits that are destroying us are alive today, and they're hiding behind the politicians. They are controlling the politicians, and we are really fighting the shadow. We have to fight the truth because we never get a solution unless we deal with the core of the problem. The point I want to make to you today, we have to come together as a people. We divide. The reason why we divided is because they don't want us to have a solution. So we have to think one thing. The union means union. Union means coming together. And I want to leave you with something too about a union. The union was not something given to you by anyone. The thing I like to quote, in 1833, the Tardin workers, they're the first set of people to strike. And what happened to them? They were, and that's in Britain, at the same time when we as African people, before any other people were in this country, we were fighting. And in 1833, the Tardin workers in England, because they strike, they were going to execute them. You heard what I said? They were going to execute them. But what they did, they transported them, banished them from England. Look up the history. You don't know how powerful the union is. You don't know the power. The union has nothing to do with capitalist democracy. The union has to do with people's democracy. You don't depend on any government to be what you want to be. You control, you are the people. And one thing you must remember, and don't forget this, right now they have you going hand in hand begging. They're making the union a parasitical creature. What you should do, first of all, you need 2 minutes. You need a newspaper. You need a labor periodical put out, I don't know if weekly, monthly, or what. You need something to talk to your people and to other people. So make sure that you need to say to yourself that any country, the union will be partnership with that industry. What I mean, think about it. Let us say for the messed up, the bauxite. You are the, I know I'm talking about something else. You are the bauxite company, for example. But at the end of the day, you go begging. No, the union should make, and this could be for the teachers too, the union should say every year that exists, every year that we exist, we get a percentage of whatever the industry is. So, for example, if it's 1%, in 10 years, you got 10%. If they want to kick you up, if they want to defunct, you could say this, I got 10% in this thing. And I could make sure that this thing could either, I have something to say whether this thing could be closed or not. The point I'm making is that right now you're playing union the wrong way. No reason after 10 years the union could not have a part. Oh, sorry. And my wife said, "Must stop." Look, listen, all I'm saying is this. Talk for yourself, please. You're not talking for yourself. You're begging. You don't have to beg. If you stop work, the industry cannot go. So don't talk. Listen, you have power, man. You stop this begging thing and let us come together. Let us have a proper union college. We need a union college too. We need a proper union college in order to prepare our approach, ourselves, our future. Man, we need to talk about ourselves.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're gonna take a pause, and of course, we're gonna have the playing of the 6.5% song. And
I have a point on the chest. Even rest. No cost of living. Everything doubling. Everything troubling. How I must carry on when I see me with one arm. Tell me how am I so.
The Ministry of Education Allied Arts Unit today dismissed allegations of vindictiveness raised by the Guyana Teachers Union on the Mashramani competition following a calypso which was sung by a child pertaining to the raise of 6.5% given to public servants. In a press release, the Allied Arts Unit stated that decisions made are based on established rules that have been in place for many years, specifically focusing on the appropriateness of items in relation to age groups. 2 items were rejected and the respective schools were duly advised with transparent communication on the reasons behind the decisions. The unit added that it is committed to ensuring that the content presented appropriateness stipulated by the rules set well in advance of the competition. Additionally, they added that it is crucial to highlight that the intention is to maintain age-appropriate standards and to abide with rules established with the competition. The press release went on to say that the primary focus of the education system is to instill principles of excellence, respect, values, ethics, peace, harmony, and love, which the unit supports.
Thank you. We're just going to.
I just want to say, comrades, Rudy, the next time, this is women power today. I want men on this platform. I want many. I thought I would expect you would have given the way to Sister Pender. We want women. Even the cultural item, I said to them, I want women. Woman power. Have to start respecting and allowing the women to take the role in this society. And when I come to correct you, is a man to correct you men. Right? Okay? Women power. That is what we want. Ladies, you have done an excellent job. This is the beginning of the march to take us out from where we are. The men don't have the backbone and the testicular fortitude. I want to tell you, I understand you as immediate past president. You can say what you like. You can't echo the general secretary. You know what I mean? so, so don't ask me that. Thank you. Next year, we go on. Every day from now, we go on. Tell the men, don't come on a platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Louis. So we're going to go on to sing the international, and then we're going to end with the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, if we should say the entire anthem, or let's just say the last stanza of the national anthem. Three, two, one. Rise, ye workers. But come, we need you to come. So nobody- Arise, ye workers.